This is Paul from Market Square Heroes. Welcome to a very special edition of Pull Up a Chair with Beltane Fire.
Hi.
Hello.
Good evening, folks.
32 years. Now you feel old, don't you? 32 years since Misplaced Childhood on the tour. Where have you been?
Okay. Well, that is a very, very good question, and we'd be here all night, wouldn't we? But well, we after the tour, basically, which was brilliant for us, CBS dropped us because we hadn't sold enough. You know, we didn't do the single, they never really liked our
brand of music.
They never really, but we wouldn't sort of, you know, go down their road, which they wanted us to. So
but the thing was,
basically 3 minutes 20 singles and all that crap, and we just want to make good albums, you know. So.
But the
So
single
that was
was
that.
doing well. The single was doing.
It was
well
doing well. It was doing well. But,
on the tour, off the back of the tour,
Yeah.
and it seemed like when the tour finished, they didn't really know what to do with us
Had no idea.
because they'd only had single artists like Paul Young, Alison Moyet, and they'd never really had a band like us. So it was probably you know, what do you call it? What's the word?
Confusion.
Yeah, they didn't know what to do. And we thought, well, great, you know, the single's creeping up. It was just below top 40, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As I remember. And you
Well,
thought, well,
50s.
50s, okay.
It was doing well
But
in
it was
Germany.
doing well.
Yeah.
And you thought, well, you know, they put us straight back out on the road to more audiences like Marillion had.
Yep.
And we get top 40, and that immediately changes your standing in the record company. And but it didn't happen.
But one thing that is interesting is we almost, during that, just in that last period, we had several meetings with Iron Maiden's management.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the bloke's name now. He was a character. Went up to his office, and he was well up for it. You know, we almost, I don't know, really meetings with a couple of managers around that time, because the whole management thing was a lot different then, wasn't it? It was more, you know. But after the whole sort of Sony fiasco, for about 18 months we demoed. We probably demoed about 13, 14 songs. We demoed the whole next album, which no one's ever heard.
And it's awesome.
I mean, we've just transferred it all from. We've only had it on cassette, most of it, and I've digitally transferred it all now, tweaked it a little bit. And it does sound surprisingly good. You know, the tapes have survived all right. But you know, we were really excited. The whole thing had matured a lot. If we'd gone in the studio and done a follow-up to Different Breed, it was a really, you know, very strong record, I think. You know, could have been fantastic. But we the three of us then, because Mitch, by then, we decided to go to the States. So the three of us went to America, spent a year.
Mitch is the original bass player.
Mitch was the original player on the Misplaced Childhood tour.
Yep.
We ended up in New York for a year.
Okay.
And we were playing at CBGB's and Toads at Yale, you know, and all places like that. And again, we almost signed to Geffen under a different name, Flame in the West. Because, you know, the stigma, it was the dreaded stigma of being signed and dropped. But, you know, that's how things were back then. There was no internet, was there?
No.
There was no social media. You know, if we were forming now, we'd be a lot better off.
Yep.
You know.
I'm going to admit something to you. It's the fact until I saw you on the Misplaced tour, I'd not actually heard of you. And
Well, no one had.
But from the minute you came on stage, I was hooked. In every gig, and I might have done quite a few of those. Normally, people stop in the bar for the support band, and that's just the way it was.
Yeah.
But we were all coming down to actually watch you play, and it was the minute Excalibur was hitting the air, we were in there.
Yeah.
And I've not seen that. I've not seen it before. I've not seen it since.
No, it was a good tour for us. That it was good, and it was so different. I mean, and that's why I think that's why Fish, or the management, sort of got us on it. Because it was so different.
Yeah.
Everyone sort of said, it's gonna be hard work because of the notorious sort of thing about support mats, but he said, "No, I think it will work," and it did. It did, Once
We got on well with them.
they really looked after us.
We used to turn up some gigs and we thought, oh, they're playing our record, but they were actually Marillion.
Yeah.
It was Steve and that.
Yeah.
Copying
what we did.
Beltane
Yeah.
and the sound checks.
It was good. When we signed to CBS, they didn't realise what we were. They said, when you sign to us, your feet won't hit the ground. We actually stopped playing. We were a band that were doing over 250 gigs a year before we signed.
We stopped
to
playing
CBS.
altogether.
And they said that our feet wouldn't hit the ground, and we actually stopped playing. So when
Clubs,
we started to do tours, it was what we wanted to do. We were a live band and still are.
Yeah, it's the old, we had a manager who.
We ended up signing with Robert Palmer's manager.
Later on, yeah.
Right near later on. And when we went to America, we were supposed to liaise with him out there, but it just didn't happen.
It was and then after that we just sort of drifted into our own things. I went off to the States. Carl and Steph were doing theatre stuff, weren't you, and stuff. I got involved with Western music in the States, and we just sort of, what you do, just went our separate ways. And then
We recorded some demos in New York for Geffen.
Right.
yeah,
In the Colgate Mansion, the old Colgate Mansion up in Sharon in upstate New York, and they were good.
really good.
Young engineer, and the guy that owned it at the time was Paul Lecker, and I think he managed Jim Crochet,
Okay.
who had some hit records out in the States, and they were good.
Yeah.
They were good.
And we also had a residency at CBGB's. Hilly at CBGB's, the man, he loved what we were doing. And we were playing there in the end, not every other week, weren't we? The CBGB's on the Bowery in New York was still happening then,
Yeah.
Still had its name and, 10 bands a night. I mean, we were in there every other week, and he really dug what we were doing. So it was good, it was good. But I mean, we had no visas, and all the usual stuff. You can't survive, It's frustrating, really. I mean, very frustrating, because we had nothing to sustain us. If you had what you've got now in terms of social media, even to the point, putting your own product out, at least you can shift. We were talking about this earlier today. You've got to be realistic today. People don't buy physical records.
No.
But if you can sell a couple of thousand physical albums, vinyl, you can cover everything. Back then it was insane. They wouldn't even that was like promo, wasn't it? They'd give that away,
Yeah.
So it's complete turnaround, the whole thing. Then when we talked to Marillion's manager about after because everything was sold out, wasn't it?
Yeah. The whole British tour.
The whole tour.
Yeah.
When we were saying, you must be, you must be turning over. He said, we're turning over, but you don't get it. He said, when you total it all up, PA, costs, even though everything was selling out, he said, they only sort of just over breaking even.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but then the record sales took over, and the merch, obviously, the merchandise took over, and now it's reversed. Then the tour sold the album. Now it's you do the album to get the tour, or they do. When you're on that level, you.
And the tour's what makes the money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Merchandise has grown, and it seems like the musical product is almost. At the end
If you're
of
at
the whole
their
thing.
level, obviously it's but then it was a complete opposite.
You mentioned the vinyl just now. I still have in my loft the flexi disc that you gave away.
Oh yeah,
I think it was in the programme, wasn't it?
it was, yeah.
Yeah. That was what inspired me to go and get the original single.
Yeah.
Was that the Captain Blood flexi?
It was a
With samples of
poacher and
samples and stuff on it. Yeah.
And I think you'll probably find a lot of the audience still have the flexi disc as well that are sat down.
Yeah, it's a good idea. That.
It was a good idea. It worked out really well.
Yeah.
I think I actually have my T-shirt as well, although obviously medium doesn't fit anymore. But you know, Steve, when all these guys were making these millions, what were you doing?
Well, I was, and I still am in a band called Frenzy, which is more of the rockabilly, psychobilly sort of thing. But I'd always followed the band.
Okay.
From the alter ego before.
Yeah.
Not sure I should say the name.
Please do.
Yeah.
We're not ashamed of it.
You know, we have an alter ego, which is the Blue Cats.
Yeah.
And I'd always followed the band. One of the big influences on me, more so than bands like the Stray Cats. You know, it's more Blue Cats, Pole Cats, Rock Cats in the States. Anyway, I'd always followed the band, and then we heard rumblings that they were doing something different. In fact, I phoned you, didn't I?
That's right.
I phoned you at home, and I can remember being like intrigued because the guys were saying they're influenced by lots of other things like Floyd and lots of other rock bands, and I was thinking, oh, that sounds pretty cool. And there was all these rumblings on the rockabilly circuit, then the neo rockabilly circuit, that the Blue Cats were turning into something else. And then the G-Men album, 12-inch came out, which was pushing the boundaries of the rockabilly thing, which I really loved. Because I hated doing all the old 50s cover versions. I mean, right from the first point I joined a band, I wanted to write original music.
Mm-hmm.
So when the G-Men 12-inch came out with all that sort of original stuff on it, it was really intriguing, and we all sort of flocked to it. And then rumours were going around that they'd locked themselves away and they weren't going to be G-Men or Blue Cats anymore. And then, fun enough, Glenn Blake, who's a big follower of the band, a friend of mine that I've known for 30 plus years, said, I think they're going to be calling themselves Beltane Fire, and there's an album coming out and they've signed to CBS Sony. I was really intrigued, and we were waiting for the album. And then when I first heard it, I thought, yeah, that's a cool direction to go in. I always admired the band. Saw you guys in Bristol, I think it was Bristol, Marillion, and then I sort of came up to the 100 Club to see them doing their own thing, totally blown away. And I ended up in the Blue Cats when the guys asked me to join in March 2011. I got my Beltane album out to play it again, and the needle wouldn't stay in the grooves because I'd worn it out. That's how much I played it. And me and the drummer from Frenzy were obsessed with Beltane Fire. And our promoter, when we were doing a big tour, 26-day tour in Holland and Germany, gave us all a little present because he worked for IRA, and he gave us little cassette Walkmans. And we'd run the album off onto it, and we were just walking around everywhere, in the van, in the clubs, after the sound checks, backstage, Different Breed was on. Became obsessed with it. And so, like I say, I went to put the record on, and I was trying to get the guys to do Beltane again.
Yeah.
And the grooves wouldn't play because I'd worn it out, so I had to buy another copy on eBay so I could listen to it. And then, I don't know, what kicked it off that we were going to...
Well, we just decided to do it, really. I mean, I suppose the catalyst was when Cherry Red finally put out the CD.
Yeah.
Well, we did the digital release, didn't we?
Yeah.
Sony, I got in touch with Sony because people just kept asking, with the advent of social media and internet, people started getting in touch and wanting to get the album. So I contacted Sony, who was surprisingly at the time quite approachable, which was unusual. And I can't remember the guy's name, but he was well up for it. So they did, the head honchos, the bean counters, decided there wasn't enough in it for them to do a physical release. So they did a digital release. And it was purely coincidence, really, that by the time we'd organised to do that gig at the 100 Club, because we just did that because people had asked us to, really. Like tonight, it's because people ask you to do it.
Yeah.
They said, well, why don't you do a gig, So we put that on, and as coincidence would have it, Cherry Red finally put out the album on CD, or their rock subsidiary, which is Lemon, isn't it?
Right.
I think.
Lemon Records, yeah.
Lemon, yeah. They finally put the CD out.
And it kind of coincided with the gig, didn't it?
It kind of coincided with the gig, yeah. But I mean, it's amazing how people have discovered it, you know, the second time around.
But if you look at the YouTube videos, the clips, they're all still there.
Yeah.
They all come out of the woodwork. There's always got nice things to say. They're always talking about the Marillion tours and this, that, and the other. And they all say they've got that flexi
Yeah.
and a different breed album and stuff like that.
No, it was great. It was great. It was a great tour. It was just good, great memories. You can't really no dark moments at all. It was all great, you know. And they were really good. They were really good guys. All of them looked after us.
But you only did the British tour, didn't you?
Yeah.
Do you not wish you'd done the European?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They wouldn't let. Sony wouldn't. Was it something?
I don't know.
Was a reason they wouldn't let us. Yeah, we'd love to have done the
We
European.
had good sales in Germany. I think
Yeah.
80,000
60.
albums. 60.
Yeah, but
But we never played there.
Never
Never
played
played there.
Imagine what could have happened if you guys had played there, though.
Yeah.
That was a bad move by the label. wasn't
But
it?
the other frustrating thing is after some years later, you could hear people sort of fooling around with I'm not saying completely ripping off what we were doing, but certainly influenced what some people had done, and that was a bit frustrating that we didn't have a platform to go out and, because you know our biggest enemy they always the Sony, they always say it's so different. I know everyone wants something different, but this is so different. No one knows what to do with it. It's too you know, you don't.
I need to be able to pigeonhole things.
Yeah,
They couldn't pigeonhole it.
Yeah. But you know, within that, on that Misplaced Childhood tour, is when we found what could have been our core audience, because people were open to something which was very anglicised. It was completely English.
Yep.
And that was purposeful. You know, we wanted that. We wanted it to be completely English in everything about it. It's but you know the powers that be, they actually said that to us, didn't they? They said it's just too
Yeah.
Too English.
We don't know what to do with it. You know, it's good, but no one knows what to do with it. It's sort of, they can't plug you into.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's which I know everyone says is a good thing, but it's not always. It's not always. You know, it's certainly in our favour, haven't we?
Well, you go by this sort of trust and of your A&R man, because your A&R man signed you, and
Yeah.
he signed you for a reason. The reason is he liked you. But in those days, A&R men used to just go from company to company every few months.
Right.
So if you lose your A&R man, you've lost the man who signed you, and you're put onto somebody else, you
Yeah.
know, and
We may not like you.
That's a
you
good
know,
point.
definitely did not like us.
Yeah.
So we knew we had to leave CBS.
Yeah.
We knew
Well,
it.
actually, he said, "Don't worry, lads. You're going to do another album and this, that, and the other." What he was going to do the next week we were out. So what he actually said to us was nothing
Bull.
like the truth, you know. So that was we were really disillusioned with the record company politics, you know.
But
we
it's funny,
we discovered it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, our biggest supporter within Sony was Adam Ant.
Okay.
He was signed to Sony at the time. He absolutely, and still does. You know, he loved what we were doing. He loved how different it was, and he loved the fact that it was completely anglicised. And he wanted to do the videos and everything, but you know, they wouldn't let him. That's the problem with us. We don't fall into any, or we didn't. It doesn't matter now, does it?
He
But,
contacted us while we were in that year in America.
Yeah.
But we were on the East Coast and he was on the West
Yeah.
Coast, and he wanted us to do some playing for him, but we were trying to get our own thing together on the East Coast, you know, and we just didn't want to go and do that with him, but not for any reason, but we just wanted to. We'd gone to America trying to do something for ourselves, you know, but we We saw him after that. We saw him in '92.
Yeah, I mean, he contacted us, what, about 18 months ago?
Yeah.
Was
He came down to the rehearsal studio when we wrote the Tunnel album for the Blue Cats under the name of the Blue Cats. And he came and listened to it.
Yeah.
We went out for a meal, and you know. So yeah, he's always been sort of in contact. But,
We were supposed to do some shows with him about 18 months ago.
Yeah. It all went a bit pear-shaped, but that was a certainly we were at the stage where we agreed. We pretty much agreed everything with his management, and we were going to go out and that. But I think something happened with the Hammersmith show, didn't it? There was a falling out with the promoter or something. I think.
Never happened.
Never happened, but
Damn shame that was.
it's really, you know, we've got a bit of go left in us, and we could, if we were given the chance to get on a decent stage, you know, I don't know what we could do really. You know, it's just a matter of someone giving you that chance, you know.
And I've been telling the lads as well, because all those demos
Yeah.
that were done all those years ago,
Yeah.
I've heard them, and they're awesome. They don't sound like demos. They sound like a polished, finished product.
Really.
And I've been trying to get the guys to
Well, to
release it.
Yeah.
There's fundamental things with those, you know, but we incorporated a keyboard after the Marillion tour, which was a big sea change for us. We bringing in keys.
Yeah.
We actually had a keyboard player which we brought in, and that opened up, as you can imagine, a lot of doors and a lot of things that we were working on as writers. We were able to, because Carlo played keyboards in the very beginning, but we tried, didn't we, to do it on keys, but it was just too much hassle.
Yeah.
Just guitar keys, because I can't play. He's the lead, you know. So I was, you know, just getting the rhythm without all the melodic stuff that Carlo does. So we got in a keyboard player, and it was really, that opened the door. You see, that opened a whole new sort of. And it was obviously a lot more mature because Different Breed was a culmination, like a lot of bands' first albums. Just, you know, I know some people are going to say it's a bit immature, but then, you know, there were things. It was all the excitement of stuff that had been floating around our set for a long time, you know. So the next album would have been that much more mature. You can hear it in the demos. It's lyrically, especially. But it was a real pity really that it never saw the light of day. So,
But it still should. And I'm still trying to push the guys to do it, just so you know.
But the trouble is, we're always thinking of what it could have, you know, it could have been like if.
What do you think? Do you think if we release an album, a vinyl record of the demos, which are polished, by the way?
I think that the original Different Breed was an incredibly brilliant album, and I don't actually have a lot of vinyl left. We've kind of moved on, and Different Breed is one of them that I do actually have.
Yeah.
And if it's anywhere near as good, you probably do really well, because people will buy it for nostalgia just to hear what you still have to do. People aren't down there now because you're a new band. People know exactly who you were. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Marillion fans that, by the way, aren't at a convention in Leicester tonight, down in that
Right.
in that hall, and they're waiting for you to come up.
Yeah.
So, let's bring this right up to present.
Yeah.
You've got a 90-minute set. You've got one album.
Yeah.
What do you do to fill the other in?
We're going to do a cut. We're going to do one of the songs from the demos.
Yeah.
Where My Father Walked.
Okay.
We're also going to do Billy Ruffians, which is a combination of both things really, Beltane Fire and Blue Cats.
Yeah.
It could have come out as either band, and then we're going to do a lot of the tracks that were B-sides of the 12 inches, like The Old Ways, Far Cry, which we always wished had been on the album.
Yeah.
Who's the Sun. So that's basically what's going to make up the set, plus the core album.
Okay. When we finish this interview, what we'll do, we'll put it on YouTube, and we'll leave the comments open. And if you think that these guys should release the demos as an album or as another way for you to listen to it, put your comments down the bottom. Let these guys read it. We'll read it. We'll pass your messages on, and let's see what we can do about getting these new tracks released for you to listen to.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
Get in.
we try our best, Steve.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's been an absolute privilege.
Thank you.
This has been Paul from Market Square Heroes. 32 years after we originally saw these guys, a year trying to organise this interview. But this has been Paul, and we'll see you on the road. Thanks very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very
Cheers.
much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Pleasure, mate.